Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, this video de-stresses me out and deal with some stress today. It is resolved. It is resolved. But anyway, here's a article that just popped up today, 3 hours ago. I was going to do another video, but I will probably save that one for Saturday. So we want to recover the guitars and sell them to people who actually want to play them. $80,000. It's a lot of money. Worth of vintage guitars have been stolen from Guitar House of Tuzla. Now the owner and Joe Bonamassa, because I feel like Joe Bonamassa is just always around when you mention vintage guitars, the two magic words, are appealing for your help. So 15 vintage guitars, including a 50s, 60s Gibsons, including 50s and 60s Gibsons, PRS private stock models, a 1961 Rickenbacker have been taken. Over $80,000 worth of vintage guitars have been stolen from Tulsa, Oklahoma guitar store, and now the owner. Drew Wynn is appealing for help in retrieving the missing instruments. The store in question, Guitar House of Tulsa, was raided around 10:50 p.m. on Saturday night, January 6th. And the thieves made off with a haul of 15 vintage and high-end instruments, including several valuable Gibsons acoustics and an array of rare electric guitars. My guess is if 15 guitars adequates to $80,000, this person had some guitar knowledge. They definitely had some guitar knowledge. They definitely cited out this location, knew exactly where the most high value, high dollar guitars were, and they grabbed them. And they're going to try to sell them probably on the black market, is my guess. They're not going to be worth 80 grand on the black market, but if someone has 20 grand in their pocket and they keep their mouth shut, they can have a lot of really nice guitars. That's probably what they're thinking. That is, I'm trying to get in the mind of the criminal, if you will. So Wynn has since taken to social media to share the full list and serial numbers. Okay, so he did keep track of the serial numbers, which is very good, of the missing guitars. Among them, a 1954 Gibson J200, 1969 J160E, 1996 left-handed Gibson Les Paul Gold Top. Actually, that one is surprising because, left Gibsons are super rare, but you can find them. 2012 private stock McCarty and a 1979 Hammer Standard Flame Top Sunburst. So, let's see here. You can view the full list below, but suffice to say, many of the stolen guitars are very distinctive. For instance, the Lefty Gold Stop reissue and the Gibson Les Paul Custom, and an unusual orange, aged kumquat yellow finish. So we have, let's go through the list. So guitar stolen from House of Tuzla. 2022 Gibson Dave Mustaine DMV30. I want to say that is the $20,000 one, the really expensive one, the reverse silver burst. You got the 2012 Paul Reed. If you want, screenshot this screen right here for the serial numbers. 2012 Paul Reed Smith private stock gray semi-hollow. Paul Reed Smith Bacardi private stock. A Collings. I haven't seen one of those in forever. I don't remember even what that looks like. Let's take a look, because I honestly don't know what this guitar is. Let's see here. I think, is that the one? Oh, it's an acoustic. That's my mistake. I thought that was something else. But still, a $7,000 guitar. Also, a Dreadnought Sunburst Borgioris. EVH 78 Eruption. Okay. Gibson Les Paul Custom Kumquat Yellow aged. Actually curious. I kind of want to see what that looks like, the kumquat yellow. Ooh, that is a nice yellow. More of an orange hue, but pretty nice. 1996 Les Paul Gold Top. Oh, that's why it's expensive. R6 P90 reissue. Yeah, if it's got an R in front of it, there's your expense right there. 1979 Hammer Standard Flame Top Sunburst. 1987 Goodall. 1961 Rickenbacker 365. Then we have a 77 Gibson J200. 2008 Gibson Hummingbird. 1969 Gibson J160E, and a 1954 Gibson J200 Sunburst. Now that I'm actually saying it, I wonder. I don't know what else they had. Maybe these were the 15 most valuable guitars that they had in the collection. I'm not really sure. So I received a call from the alarm company to say that they were dispatched officers because the alarm was going off, explained Wynn to local news station. By the time I arrived, it was too late. I was hoping that the guys were maybe still in the vicinity so we could have a chat and I could get my stuff back. So while Wynn describes the situation as disheartening, he says he's hoping that with the help of the guitar playing community, he can recover some of his lost stock. Joe Bonamassa is one of Wynn's customers and also shared the list, encouraging him follows to help process, describing Drew as one of the nicest, most honest guys on the scene. So I thought Joe Bonamassa shut down his Instagram. Maybe he reopened it specifically for this. We'd make the same appeal and encourage you to keep on the lookout for the instruments on the list when browsing online resale platforms, and if you're based in Oklahoma, the physical stores in the area. Of course, it's a crappy thing to have. Wynn tells them, but everybody really cares. Ultimately, we want to recover the guitars and sell them to people who want to play them. No, he wants to recover the guitars to make money. He does. Don't get that. Don't misread that. You know, it's a nice thing to say, but he doesn't give two craps if some rich dude hangs it on the wall. It's not about, with guitars of this price, it is not about them playing them. It's unless you're Joe Bonamassa, he actually plays the things. 9 out of 10, you're hanging them on a wall, and not steal them and sell them. Guitar thieves are unfortunately very common, but it feels in some ways like they're getting more hold on. Let's sound this out. Egregious. There we go. Particularly as rising prices, both the cost of living in high-end guitar markets, make the prospect more tempting to would-be thieves. Recently, over in Nashville, there was another particular brazen, if low-value theft to form of a $3,000 Gretsch that was swapped for a dumpster acoustic in broad daylight. For more information, updates, check out Guitar of Tuzla on Instagram. So I have seen, a lot of those, I remember that when the Adam Jones got stolen, to my knowledge, they have never found those things. Check your local Craigslist, eBay, Reverb. A lot of these guys, I hate to say they're smart, but they will try to sell them one at a time. They won't list them all at the same time, because if you list all these on like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace all at the same time, there's a big red flag. But if you list one at a time, you hold on to them, you wait for the market to cool. A lot of people will forget about this story completely, and then they may buy one of these things and not even realize it. So it's something where whoever this individual is, that's probably what they're going to do, because that's happened. I know my local Guitar Center has all of the high-end instruments physically locked up now. You have to ask a store associate to unlock them, because there was a local guy. What the heck was his name? I think it was Sam. I believe his name. I don't remember the last name, but I know the first name was Sam. And he would go into Guitar Center, say, "Wow, this $3,000 Martin is very cool. Do you mind if I see the case for it?" They would get the case. He would put the guitar in the case and walk out the door with it. Because he had the guitar in the case, it tricked the employees into thinking he had already paid for it, or it was just his guitar. Maybe he was looking to sell it. And then he managed to do that about 6 or 7 times before he finally got caught. I don't know if he's in prison now. I'm assuming he definitely served some jail time. But in all honesty, I haven't the slightest clue. But that's what he did too. So he did this all in the span of a very short time. So the person, they did this basically in the span of a couple weeks, because they only do inventory like once a month. And you're not always gonna immediately realize something's missing, especially if you got a lot of different guitars. Your average employee, you have guitars constantly going in and out. So they may think they sold it, and then they do inventory, and they're like, well, where the heck is it? And that's what happened. They did inventory. It was several weeks after the fact before they caught him. And he posted everything individually, one at a time, locally. He did not post them on eBay. He did not post them on Reverb. He posted them on Craigslist. And eventually they caught him. He was asking a slight... He wasn't asking unreasonable prices, too. He was asking, like, Reverb prices, essentially. Slightly under, maybe a couple $100 less. But he popped them up one at a time. Then, local news story, similar as well. And they finally caught the guy. And I'm hoping that because there's a lot more this time, there's 15 of them, and a lot of them are pretty easily identifiable. Maybe a couple of them not so much, unless you see the serial number. But ask for the serial number. And then if they go super quiet, after you specifically ask them, hey, can I see a picture of the serial number, then maybe report that to the police. That's what I would recommend. It doesn't hurt to give them a lead. Worst case, they figure out it's not a lead, and then you move on to the next thing. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, pretty crappy when someone goes in your business, because 9 out of 10, typically the rule it's 60-40. So this guy paid 60% of $80,000, which we can do that. So 60% of 80. So this guy minimum probably paid about $48,000 for these guitars, and they're resellers. That's what they do. You're not going to get retail prices when you go to sell these guitars, and because they're so rare, it wouldn't even surprise me if you paid a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more like he paid 70% of the value, because when you get a guitar of this high value, you just want it in the shop because it looks cool to have this old, cool vintage guitar in the shop. So, but minimum you're talking, he paid $48,000 for these things. So he is currently in the whole 48 grand. I mean, worst case scenario, he has to write it off on his taxes or something. So not super the end of the world, but still a pretty shitty thing to do. So if you find any of these with the serial numbers, Reverb, eBay, local Craigslist, Oklahoma Craigslist specifically, and possibly surrounding states, because they might have drove a state or two over. So whatever states surround Oklahoma, I don't know off the top of my head. Definitely take a look and be on the lookout, because if you pick one of these things up and then somebody reports it and you already paid the thousands of dollars for it, there's nothing you can do about it. You're not getting your money back. I've seen it happen. It's like shows such as Pawn Stars, if you're familiar with that, or I think it's called Cajun Pawn, where the police show up. They say, hey, we're looking for this item. Does it have this serial number on it? It matches. They take it. You are out that money. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. I think you can write it off as a loss, possibly, because, it was basically confiscated by the police. But you're not going to make a profit on that thing, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then same issue. If they come take it from your personal possession, from your house, you're not getting your money back. So if you pay 10 grand on one of these Gibsons, Rickenbackers, or whatever, you will not be getting that money back. So just be careful when buying high-end guitars used from random people off of Craigslist, I guess is the best way I can say that. Other than that, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Really helps. Almost at 1,000 subs. 80 to go. Once we get there, we will be monetized. Maybe do a little giveaway for you. That would be cool to do. Share, like, comment we want to see for future music and guitar-related content. And as always, have a good one.